We will talk about art and porn with me, or sex and art with me, or art and love for you. Bye.
Okay, October 8th, 2019, Berlin. Dream number 782. Soft, wet, orange, strong, tender. I was kissing her. I stroked her all over her body with no limits, no fears. Slowly and with my fingertips, she moaned in my ear while she introduced her wet tongue and filled with explosive particles. I sheltered her body with my arms. Her eyes, as she was unreal, totally animated as a game, I saw how the orange color was changing and shining with moon stars in her pupils. I was really horny. Her hair was like mine, but long and orange again. I suck and slowly lick her pussy with sweet taste. It was me. I was kissing myself. I was a mirror. I was she. She was me. She was a parallel reality. No.
Oh my god!
So you do abstract art, but sometimes when I see your art, what you do, I say like, wow, porn. Is this like a thought of a sick of mind or something? I would say no, it's not like a sick mind. I mean, it's quite really interesting, your approach, because everything depends on the object, of the point of view from the object. So we have an object, let's say this object, as itself is an object. But depending on your perspective, on your background, on what do you see, what do you feel, is immediately transferring this information from your mind. So this is not about what I do, it's about what you have in your mind. So if you see that what I do as an artist is mainly related with porn, I would say yes, why not? It's totally open. And at the end, it's about how do you behave or how do you interact with the piece that I am creating. But when we see the object, this is just the object. And for me, it has another meaning which is related also to porn and to sex and to the erotica. But it depends on how you structure your mind and your perception about the object, I would say. So where would be the border between porn and art? What do you think about it? I would say porn is literally how you show the image of the moment of sex, and it's just working depending on how many viewers do we want to achieve, how many money do we want to get. It's about an industry. Meanwhile, doing art with these topics that are related, it's a totally different story. It's connected by the experience of how am I showing, which materials am I using, which is the expression, which could be erotic and could be sexual, because it is indeed. But the feeling of doing a pornographic art, which I could call it, is giving you the taste in your mouth for a long time, different than porn, because porn is giving you the taste of something delicious just for a moment, just to get rid of your energy. And so for me, maybe this could be kind of like the border in between when it's about porn or when it's about art. Because there is, of course, there is a line in between. And it depends on what the piece is giving you as the energetic piece, as the balance. How do I stimulate your mind? So there is this border in between porn and art, I would say. But you can also, or I can also do porn as art, which is kind of like the movement that I'm working on at the moment, because I want to continue exploring how much deep I can go deep into the main sense and rediscover the 2,500 senses that we have in our bodies, because this is not just about the genitals. It's about your soul, it's about your mind, it's about your imagination.
So, what do you think is this piece about?
It's a pussy.
She thinks it's a pussy. It's not a pussy. Actually, it's a micro perspective of genitals. Which genitals? The sexual genitals, like our organs, the sexual point. So these are micro points of view which are coming from the super small structures, and then I can just create a huge whole vagina.
Ah, a big pussy.
Super big, beautiful pussy.
And what does art has to do with sex? Do you think it has like a relation in between? I would say it's sex could be the result of a process that art could create into your life. Because everything that is happening around us is transforming our sexuality and the way that we behave with our bodies, and therefore the way that we behave with other humans. So art definitely can improve, can stimulate, can inspire your own sexuality in order to transform your within, your inside, your soul, your body. Because the power of art is about sharing energy. And this is amazing because we are energy. We are humans. And what about sex with love? I would say, it's the complete experience. Sex and love. For me, everything that I'm sharing here with you, it's coming from a very intimate experience. So my experience would be totally different than your experience or than your experience. So from my deepest insight, I think that sex and love, they are really beautiful, well connected. It's a totally different experience when you have sex with love than when you have just sex. Because there is a huge potentiality to create your confidence, to work with your fears, to communicate better, to open up your mind. When you do sex with love. Maybe also when you just do sex with someone and that's it for one night standing, it's also okay, but it's a waste of energy.
Carolina,
Uh-huh.
what is this?
What do you think it is?
This is a pussy.
No, it's not a pussy. This is the eye of the pussy.
I have eye.
No, you don't have an eye. Actually, you have a head in your pussy.
I have a head in my pussy.
Yes, the head is the beginning of the clitoris. The issue that is there, which has a lot of nerves.
Carolina, I think I have big eye.
I think I have a beautiful pussy.
Do you think that maybe can art influence sex, or how do we live sex? I would say, again, sex could be the result of how art can improve your life, because art is giving you energy, and art is reminding you how powerful is nature somehow, because we are part of this nature, and nature is totally sexual, is totally exquisite, is delightful just to think in this direction. So I would say it can be totally inspired by art, but then sex is the result of the whole process to digest how art can interact into your life.
Why is sex for you important in your art?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's a really, really good question. And I think that I have the responsibility to be really open and really honest. I had really bad experiences in the past. I like men. I also love women, but not in a sexual way. And in the past, I had really these strong relationships where I had domestic violence. 2 times I was punched by 2 different men. This was in Colombia. And so this was really hard for me to get over it and to recover myself, because I didn't know who I was 5 years ago. Then I started to do coaching with a person in Colombia who is like my mentor of life. And then I discovered that my sexuality, my erotica, my erotism as a woman was totally repressed. And that's the moment when I came to Berlin, and I have the feeling this is the next question. But when I came here, I just discovered myself again. So I did like a transformation of being reborn, and I just came back from death to life. And that's why I think I decided to experience this life as an artist and to do art, because doing art for me is not something that you do from 8 to 9. It's 24 hours. It's a whole way of perceiving, of feeling, of understanding humanity. I am totally in love with humanity, and I feel so much compassion, and sometimes my heart wants just to explode about so many things that I want to share. So that's why I said to myself, this is the way, and this is the path that I want to continue working. Now I can say I'm a totally different woman. Now I'm not the object as it is used to be in pornography. Women, we are the object. Now I am the active subject as women. And we have to empower this energy, because this is about energy. Wow, interesting. That's really interesting. I really like that. Super interesting. So I cannot blame no one, and I'm not in that feminism position, because I'm not a feminist. I am a feminist because I love women, and I love to embrace our bodies and to respect our bodies, we dignify. But I also love men with all my heart. What can we do without men? I'm in love with a man. Definitely no. I think it's just a matter of working together. And it's a matter of guilt, because we have so much guilt from maybe the education that we get from our families, maybe from, I don't want to go deep into this topic, religion, repressions, education. So I would say we need to readjust the educational system. this is what we have to work on. And why did you choose Berlin? Why did you choose to come here? That's another tricky question. I think I have two answers. The first one, 1997. I was in the school and I saw the movie of Christiane F. And I was like, what the fuck is this movie? What is Berlin? Oh my god. I mean, of course I knew where it was, but I didn't know what was happening. And I was totally in love, like something deep in my deepest, the movie triggered me. And then it was in my head and I said, one day I will be in Berlin. One day, because I wanted to become an artist when I was 3 years old. I knew that this was coming, and I had the beautiful opportunity to have a beautiful family who is supporting me all the time. Since I have memory as a child, my father and my mother, they always bought me the material. So when I came from the school, it was just painting, and with my father, he bought me a whole encyclopedia of beauty arts, and I read everything, and I was following, and I was kind of like self-learning, and this saved my life. Actually, I had a tumor when I was 15 years old in the hypophysis chair, and this was really strong. I thought that I was going to die. The doctor told me, like, probably we have to open up your brain and we don't know if you will be alive in 6 months. And I just told him, like, I'm sorry, but go and fuck yourself because you will never tell me when I'm going to die. So I chose to become an artist, and I knew that this was my path of life. This is how I wanted to experience life. So, yeah.
Now, what the fuck is this? What the fuck do you think it is? This is a pussy! It's not a pussy. What is this? Again, another genital. But from a three-dimensional perspective, penetrated by the steel. So, this is a perception about violence against a sweet and delicious piece of fabric, which is kind of like part of life. I mean, this is the political perspective, like how violence is still existing in our society, and especially when industry as pornography is not, they are not creating an educational system. They just want to get money out of it. This is the system that I don't agree with. Okay, this is a pussy.
But the second answer about Berlin. When I came here, I was totally in love with the city and with the energy. But the first time that I came into a club, I was totally astonished by the imagination of how people is living their own sexuality. And I was like, this is the city where I want to live. And this was hilarious, this was amazing. So I have the feeling that for me, Berlin is a city of mirrors. And sometimes this is why it could be so strong for people, because it's mirroring who you are. And this is not easy to get into the direction of, oh, this is, sometimes it's too much. And so I would say it's a city of mirrors. It's a city of transformation, really deep. It has this sense of black, but also gray and deep and slow, and it's really exquisite, is sexual, is really a very strong sexual city, I would say.
Carolina.
Yes. And now, what do you think it is? This is not a pussy. Definitely, it's not a pussy. I agree with you. What is this? These are models of anus.
Which anus? Of a horse?
Imaginary anus.
What do you do with this anus, Carolina?
These are part of a big installation of a big pussy.
I combine them in order to create another type of representation, an alternative representation of the sexual organs.
Carolina, do you have problem?
I don't have any problem. Do you?
At this moment, yes.
Do you think people can be Berliners without being in Berlin? Definitely, I think yes, you can have the attitude of being a Berliner without being in Berlin. Berlin is a city of open doors. It's just there. You just have to make the decision if you want to be part of it or not. Both are totally okay. But what I would say is if you decide to stay in Berlin, you as a human, you have the responsibility to give back something to the city.
Giada. Yes?
Do you know what it is?
A asshole?
No. I am actually your oracle, and you can ask me whatever you want to know.
What's happened with censorship in the social media?
Censorship in the social media, it's bullshit.
Too fast. It's gonna be great. I don't like that.
I mean, I just have to make fun of myself. Otherwise, it would be boring.
No, I am. I thought it was a normal interview. I am a very important publisher, and now I think